So, the last couple days have been filled with TYT drama, centered around banning of Francesca Fiorentini. Now, one person who is truly going to feel the effects has to be John Iadarola. And it really leaves us to wonder, is John going to stick around? I mean, the TYT hosts, they are dropping like airplanes in the Trump admin. It is getting nuts over there. I think taking a closer look at John's reaction, something we need to do. All right, let's get into it. High drama.
Welcome back, one and all, to the Damage Report. Apologize for the slightly late start. We're having some technical difficulties that happen all too often thanks to Apple technology. Today's a Thursday, but as you can see now, I am alone for reasons that some of you probably already understand. And for the rest of you, I'll address to start the show. So it was announced yesterday on the episode of The Young Turks that, at least for the time being, the network is going to be putting a hold on appearances on network programming by Francesca Fiorentini. And the reason that we're obviously addressing that here is because that applies to the Damage Report. And my hope is that that is a temporary thing, that after some time, we can reassess and we can come back together. That is both, I think, implicitly and explicitly what I have always advocated for and worked towards, with the stakes being as high as they are and everything going on in this country, that I think that we all need to work together. And I think that we're stronger when we're all together. That said.
Yeah, look at that, dude. Like I mean, he's playing the hopeful guy. Oh, I hope this will blow over. We can water under the bridge. To address what somebody said there about still can't believe that he fired her. Dude, that was just it. Like Cenk's thing was like, dude, it wasn't even like a firing. It was like a fucking 25-minute meltdown and a self-defense ritual or something. But I don't know. I'm just wondering if we're going to get any honest commentary here, because I mean, even in the clips that it showed with Francesca, she was on her own YouTube channel. She didn't say that shit on the air. She wasn't on TYT talking shit about Cenk. She was doing that in her own time. So I don't really see what the fucking...
If you are interested in the reasoning behind this hopefully temporary split, Cenk and Anna addressed it on the show. He played clips of some of the remarks that Francesca have made towards him. I'm not going to relitigate all of those, but if you want to see the video, they included it in their clip. There are some comments among that I've spoken with Francesca about previously. And so some of you, in seeing the reasoning, I think will find it to be quite reasonable. Others of you will not. I hope that you understand that as I react to this, because I found out about this not that much longer before everybody else did yesterday, while I was on my leave, that I'm in a very difficult position, because while I think most people probably find themselves on one or other side of this split either defined by the disagreements or...
Dude, he's gonna both sides this thing, isn't he? Isn't he? He's gonna be like, see, the thing I'm trying to figure out, guys, is why I hear a lot of people talk about this guy, and I've seen him talk, and he seems like pretty sensitive and sensible. I don't understand what his loyalty is to TYT at this point,
Or by some of the attacks that have been made, they find themselves on one side or the other. I care about people on all sides of it. I care about, these are all people that I know and care about and have worked with for a very long time. I've been doing this work with Francesca since 2016, nearly a decade ago now.
9 years.
I've worked with Anna and Cenk since 2012. And the only reason that anybody even knows who I am is because I was offered the job, in late 2011.
So yeah, dude, what she had asked for was she wanted the 𝗡𝗖𝗄ation to be independent, because they have their YouTube channels, but their YouTube channels are part of the TYT promotion. Exactly. So there's an umbrella there where they're part of the TYT thing. So she asked for her thing to be pulled out of the TYT thing and to be simply her own independent channel. I mean, when you think about it, that's actually a really stand-up move to say that, like, I want to have my own independence here and I'm going to go and have my own commentary. I mean, dude, who would want to be associated with TYT right now? I can't think of anyone. Dude, if TYT came up to me and said, dude, we want to put you on the fucking team, I would be like, no way, bro. You know? I mean, I might say $500,000. If they gave me 500 grand, I'd do it. I mean, because then fuck it. I'm like, I'm doing it for, 500 grand to reinvest in the channel. But dude, they don't even have 500 grand, bro. Dude, they'd have to like send a squirrel down a fucking rabbit hole, dude, to find something to pay their people. You realize the people who work for them, like, don't make shit, right? They are like the lowest paid news organization, I think, out there. TYT contributor money is like terrible, dude. It's terrible. It's like so bad.
Thanks to the advocacy of 𝗪𝗪𝗃. And then I care about people on both sides. And it's objectively, it's a sad day for the show. I think that you all know, probably because I say it a lot, there are few people in this world I more enjoy doing shows with than Francesca Fiorentini for a variety of different reasons. We are friends, in our personal life, our children play together, but also because of who she is and what she's worked towards. She's been, doing work to improve America for a lot longer than I have. And I think that, if you were to scour this industry, you might be able to find some people that, politically in terms of policy and values, I agree with as much, but I don't think you're gonna find anyone I agree with more. And so that's why I said earlier, my hope is that this can be a limited thing. We will have to see. I don't know exactly how things are going to go. I have done work to try to, stop us from getting to this place, but clearly it hasn't worked. As in other instances, it hasn't worked. I'm not as great at diplomacy as sometimes I wish that I was, and so we're left in this, sad place.
I don't feel like diplomacy really matters to the deal. It seems to me that Anna and Cenk are very much like authoritarians. Like, think about what's led up to this, okay? So what led up to this is Cenk making a very out-of-pocket move. I mean, it goes way back in the last year during the campaign of them being Polymarket Studios and having this weird, like, right-wing pivot during the election. They never got behind the Democratic candidate. They never got behind the opposition to Trump. Then as soon as Trump wins, they treat it like it really is this big mandate. Like, oh my God, it's this big mandate. We gotta go and like win these people back. We gotta go figure out a way to get along with them because they just devastated the Democratic Party, which was bullshit. And then when Cenk and Anna got called out, like she accused them of like using them for clicks. She accused them of like lying and spreading propaganda, even when they were making content, like using shit straight out of their own mouths. She ramped up this idea that you can't have a differing opinion at all on the left side. And then they went on a tour of like the worst, most toxic right-wing propaganda shows out there. And then they threatened to nuke you if you use TYT's content, if you do any commentary. And then they like had several public meltdowns. Anna had a public meltdown on Twitter. Anna had another like 20-minute public meltdown about Francesca making content, accusing her of like, manipulating Cenk's words and shit. And then Cenk with his 25-minute, like, nobody understands me. I really am for everything except those dirty leftists. Dude, the whole thing has been just a disaster of like grievance. It's like piss poor decision making by the authoritarian leaders at TYT, and then a constant stream of grievance when their horrible leadership is met with like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, how can you be this bad? And they're like, how dare you call us bad? And then they kind of add to it by having this attitude of like, we made all of you. All of you should be like polishing our knobs because without us, you'd be nothing. And it's like, no, I kind of, if you look at the TYT numbers, it kind of looks like without them, TYT is nothing, right? There's 6 million subs and fucking 1,000 views a day, dude. 1,000 views, right? 6 million subs and like 3,000 views a video with, you know, every video repackaged every 2 weeks with a new thumbnail. It's a fucking dumpster fire, dude. Jesus.
So I am personally and individually sad. I think that it is probably going to come through in the content, and I apologize ahead of time that I am hardly in a great place mentally. But that's the way it goes, you know? Sometimes I guess maybe it would be better if I had a script loaded in and I just read off of it for 90 minutes, but that's not how it happens. I in the same way that Francesca and you know others do, I care about what happens in America. I care what happens to this show and to this network, and I feel it, you know, quite deeply. And I know that a lot of you probably are, and you're probably very sad about it.
See, it kind of sucks because he's gonna take a hit. You know, there's no doubt in my mind that her energy was a significant part of the chemistry of this show. I mean, he seems like a fucking great guy, but like Francesca has a really good energy. Dude, she does, man. Her content shows up on, you know, my YouTube shorts and shit, and she has some really she has really good energy. Like, you know, and so he's gonna miss that. Plus, she's aggressive, you know? She's aggressive and she doesn't really back down. I think her and Emma both have that. They both have that sort of like that feisty, aggressive woman thing that I think is really good. It's really good in politics. There's a handful of mainstream media reporters like Margaret Brennan. I don't know if you guys watch Margaret Brennan, but she's another one, dude, where she's really good, dude. She takes people to task, dude. It's on CBS, Face the Nation. Yeah, dude, she's good, right? So like, you know, when you have a woman with that kind of like, I don't know, that's not afraid to pressure people and really put the screws to people, it's really an important part of the political landscape. So, I mean, John is obviously, he's fucking bummed, bro. He's not going to be able to bring that kind of energy alone. You know what I mean? Cenk spent time tearing her down. Tearing who down? Franny? See, you know, if we were to look at Cenk, I think there's an obvious misogyny going on in TYT. I mean, we know there is. If you go and look at their old content with like the camel toes and shit, they had a very obvious misogyny. Cenk's had a lot of issues with misogynist language. Bernie Sanders had endorsed Cenk when he ran for Congress. And then he got wind of like some of the crazy shit that Cenk had said and he withdrew his endorsement, which is, you know, think about that. Cenk was like a diehard fucking Bernie bro, and Bernie like pulled the rug out from under him, and the racism too. That's another thing. I mean, even beyond the N-words, you look at the shit with Mondale Robinson, with Pastor Ben, and just the way they treat people of color, man. You get them talking about Kamala Harris or Karen Bass, and you can see it. You can like see the racism. If you're wondering why Hassan left, he's talked about it. He talked about how his own uncle, Cenk, was taking revenue streams that should have gone to the creator, even though it was his uncle. Like Hassan got in there and started like building his thing as a producer, and then realizing that if he stayed with TYT, anything he built there was all the money was gonna go to TYT and not him. The whole thing was kind of shady. And obviously with their anti-union stuff, you know, the union busting, but there have been a lot of allegations about them, like monetizing their talent on all the platforms, but only paying the talent from one. Pastor Ben, I believe, talked a little bit about that, about how only one of the social networks was part of his revenue stream, but they were monetizing him on all of the TYT networks. So there's been a lot of shit like that. A lot of jank and you know, questionable money and financial participation, where TYT, you know, your contract says you release this kind of Facebook content, but then they're taking the Facebook content and they're monetizing it on YouTube and Instagram Reels and wherever else they have. I mean, dude, there's no doubt that TYT is not progressive. I mean, they sit under a progressive banner, but these days they feel like they're doing more to sort of harm the cause than anything. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. You like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.